It's Madden NFL 22, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Broncos and the Steelers, and it's coming up next.
We've got clear skies and brisk temperatures. You know what that is? That's perfect fall football weather here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, PA. Moments ago, a scene that's played here since 2004. Big Ben Roethlisberger greeted by this sold-out Heinz Field crowd. His Steelers getting set to match up with the Denver Broncos. Brandon Gordon alongside my good friend Charles Davis. Charles, so often it's the quarterbacks that are in the spotlight, and in this game, no different. We have a very compelling matchup. Teddy Bridgewater of the Broncos, Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers.
And I think that each quarterback wants to play this game with a faster tempo. They want to get the plays in quickly, get in and out of the huddle quickly, take just a few seconds at the line of scrimmage and survey the defense, and then attack. And I think that we'll see both offenses try to do that in this one.
Now the kicker, Brandon McManus, about ready to get us started. And with towels waving, we're underway from Heinz Field. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Here come the Steelers now on offense, led out by a man who's been at the control since 2004. Six-time Pro Bowler, Ben Roethlisberger.
And it's not out of the question. It's not out of the realm at all to wonder if this might be the final season for Big Ben, either in a Steeler uniform or in the NFL period. He re-signed back in March saying, "It's my greatest honor to be a Pittsburgh Steeler and give my all for the organization." Had a big year in 2020, 33 touchdowns, just 10 interceptions, and led the Steelers to an 11-0 start. You have to think that he would love to end his career the way Peyton Manning and John Elway did, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy and heading off into the sunset.
And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Roethlisberger. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is dropped. Oh, boy. A chance for a big play early, but he could not secure it.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
On 4th down, the rookie Presley Harvin on to punt for the Steelers. Denver has Deontay Spencer deep to return. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Well, the Denver offense ready to take over for the first time. Get a look at their 8th-year quarterback. His first season as a Bronco, though, Teddy Bridgewater.
A Pro Bowl quarterback early in his career in Minnesota before a horrific knee injury slowed down his progress. He's a more than capable quarterback and makes the most of his opportunities when he's a starter in the NFL.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. From the gun, Bridgewater. His throw incomplete. He was trying to hit Melvin Gordon there, but it's going to be 2nd down.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing is Bridgewater. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. Here's Bridgewater. And that's checked down to Gordon. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Always important as a defender on 3rd down to keep the play in front of you and make sure you don't give up enough space that they can make a move on you in the open field. Try as he might, he wasn't able to get to the 1st down marker. Excellent defense, good tackling.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Ray McLeod deep for Pittsburgh. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh Steelers, as they come back out here, CD, it's been a hard team to figure out so far. You go back to week 1, they get the upset win over Buffalo and look really good. You called that game, but they're losers in week 2 to the Raiders, and then last week silenced by the Cincinnati Bengals 24-10 in a game where Pittsburgh never led. That loss drops them to the bottom of the AFC North as this team tries to stabilize from a rough couple of weeks.
And let's face it, they've talked about improving their ground game for the last.
And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Barreling in for the sack, Shelby Harris. He seemed to have a reasonable amount of time in the pocket, but he couldn't get rid of the football, and the end result, Charles, him on the ground.
Yeah, he's got to keep an internal clock to go along with his offensive line. When you're talking about 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's a reasonable amount of time to expect to deliver the ball downfield. So great to try and complete a pass, but it's equally important to know when to throw the football away, too.
Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18. They hand this off to Harris. Little power on the move that time, but still tackled shy of the 20. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Only 5 undefeated teams remain in the NFL, and here comes one of them. Back out the Denver Broncos offense. Week 3, they manhandled the New York Jets 26-0. Denver's 3-0 start comes after beginning each of the last 2 seasons with the opposite record of 0-3. All 3 wins, though, Charles, they have come against teams who have started this season 0-3. So I don't know how much you read into that. Is this an easy schedule, or are the Broncos, in your mind, a true contender?
It's funny how much easier your schedule gets, the better your roster and your team gets. So I'm not saying that a quote-unquote easy schedule has not helped. It has. But they've actually taken advantage of it. I'm not sure they would have in past years. Broncos defense top 3 in fewest total passing and rushing yards allowed in the NFL. They're allowing the fewest points, just giving up 26 on the season. But we talked about that schedule. So things are about to get real, aren't they, Brandon? They host Baltimore, then they're at Pittsburgh in the next 2 weeks. And then week 6, division rival Las Vegas, the only other undefeated team so far in the AFC.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And that is absolutely demoralizing for a defense because you've got the offense on the ropes. It's 3rd down. You're trying to get off the field, and then wham, you have a letdown in the secondary, and you give up a big one.
And the final number on that throw, boy, it traveled an even 69 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards that time. A stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Eight yards to go on second down. Here's Bridgewater. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick.
You would think that he had baseball in his past, the way he patrols center field and goes and gets the footballs he just did there. And all pro for the Steelers each of the last 2 years. His first 2 years with the franchise, he led them with 4 interceptions in 2020.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Balaj. And not a lot of daylight. Not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down. Then he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
On second down, it's Harris. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Now it's Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Von Miller, he was the one getting in there, able to wreak his usual havoc.
And Bronco fans have to be so excited because Von Miller missed 2020 with an ankle injury, suffered just days before the season opener. An 8-time Pro Bowler, the all-time sack leader for the Broncos, and the active leader in the NFL. They are happy to welcome him back.
The Steelers send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And they're going to be set up with excellent field position to start the drive as that gets out of bounds inside the 45-yard line.
Well, the football going back over to the Denver Broncos.
And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
He was trying to find Noah Fant, the tight end, and that'll bring up second down. Now they run from the gun with Gordon. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
On third down, Bridgewater. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Roethlisberger.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
On third down, Roethlisberger. He's going to try and go deep again. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
That sun's going to be a factor all game long. I'm not sure it made a difference on that one, but it's something to think about on all deep throws during this time of year.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
Denver's offense ready to go again.
The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. He's got his big tight end, Fant. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there, couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
From the 44, Bridgewater going right back to Fant. Bridgewater to Fant, 1st down Broncos.
And if Noah Fant keeps making catches like that, it might not be too long till we say he's one of the top 5 tight ends in football. When he was drafted, that was the expectation.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now the handoff comes to Gordon. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They'll give it to Gordon out of the shotgun. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
They run for the first time with Javonte Williams.
And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. To throw is Bridgewater. Into the hands of Patrick left side. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. His first catch, good for 16 and a first. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Less than a minute to go here in a scoreless first quarter to this point. Now Gordon on 1st down. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. T.J. Watt in on the tackle.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're not doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing, Bridgewater. This is caught. Touchdown.
Bridgewater finding Cortland Sutton on the touchdown throw.
And the Broncos have taken the early lead. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And he's got it. 7-0 Broncos. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Ray McLeod to return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football, as they're looking at a 2nd down and 9 to go. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger.
This is Chase Claypool on the receiving end.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Mike Purcell gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
They run it with Balaj. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
The Steelers on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go here, Teddy Bridgewater and company marches back onto the field. And he had the touchdown on the last drive, also 4 for 4. Very, very effective. What does he need to do to translate that forward into this drive?
Not think that what he saw in coverages last time is exactly what he's going to get again. He's got to play ahead and start thinking to himself, okay, we just did that. What are they going to take away now? What do we go to as a counter? And continue to encourage his offensive line to continue to give him time.
They were really good on the last drive. And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Bridgewater now. Sets up the screen to Gordon. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 11. To throw, Bridgewater. He'll get this one to Patrick. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Gordon. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Bridgewater. He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
And unfortunately, in 2020, in the season opener, Cortland Sutton tore his ACL. But remember, over 1,100 yards in 2019, his future is still awfully bright.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Here's Gordon. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 43 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Partner, in our years together, we've never really run into a player that's admitted a doubt or a lack of confidence, right? But right now, I'm just wondering about that interior line because on defense, they're starting to get manhandled at the point of attack. Do they have it in them to figure a way to reverse the tide? Because right now, they're running the ball at will.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. This is Gordon. Gordon loses the football. It's loose. And it looks like Steeler football. It is. But he has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, it becomes more and more of a target for the defense. Knowing that he's going to be the primary guy, they'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. They'll start the drive with Harris. And some space here. And all the way down inside the 25 before he gets out of bounds. Well, we've seen some rookie running backs come in and have a big impact year one, and this guy would certainly fit that bill, as that was one heck of a run there.
And what I really enjoyed about that run and what made it so impressive to me was how he improvised along the way. Sometimes on a big play, you just get the football and you take off in a straight line and go. But this time, how about the artistry of that play? That looked a little bit like a Picasso to me.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. Open man is Johnson. Touchdown Steelers. Deontay Johnson there to make the grab. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Extra point put through by Boswell. And we are tied here in the second quarter. One play, two plays, touchdown. That's all it took there. A very short and sweet drive that got him in the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. To return it, here's Deontay Spencer. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Melvin Gordon leading Denver's offense back out. I think he's still shaking his head a little. It was his fumble on the previous drive that led to the touchdown that has us tied.
And sometimes it's worse on a runner who drops it like that to watch the other team take the ball downfield and score than maybe if they just returned it right away. You know what I mean? Because sometimes what happens that fast, you're right back out on the field. Instead, he had to watch it happen. Let's see if it affects him going forward the rest of the game.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
They'll run on first down. It's Gordon. Joe Schobert, number 4 in the NFL in tackles last year, in to make the stop.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that field like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On second down, Gordon once more. And he's going to have a Broncos first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
So following the run by Gordon, here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. 63 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They go play action. Bridgewater. This is the tight end fan. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a first down.
Second and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Bridgewater. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Bridgewater now for Gordon on the draw. Tackle made there by Chris Wormley.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Now it's 2nd and 9. Bridgewater to throw it.
This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
The Broncos on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Now Bridgewater. He's got his tight end Fant. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
Here's Bridgewater. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding big hit.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Yeah, this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. Cortland Sutton with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Broncos have taken the lead. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Now McManus to tack on the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it ends with a Denver touchdown. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
McLeod now on the return. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
We focus our attention now on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails because they had it going pretty good last time too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. On the give, this is Harris, and he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Steelers send out their punter now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10.
Denver's offense now set to go.
And they had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
At the 45-yard line.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They got 29 yards that time. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 3 plays, 3 pass completions. In the blink of an eye, they've got a 1st and goal.
Almost felt like a lightning bolt hit in this game, didn't it? For them to get downfield that quickly. And now 1st and goal, expect them to attack right here on this play.
Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So 3 plays, already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. Throwing is Bridgewater. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
The way he's been slinging in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that 3rd, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. They'll throw again, Bridgewater. And he's got his tight end Fant. Touchdown, Broncos. Noah Fant in the final seconds of the first half. And the Broncos would extend their lead here just before halftime.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run, and he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Now McManus for the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. McLeod now on the return. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We saw a strong first half from our quarterback. First order of business, though. Let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Denver. And the ground game has been a big part of why they have this big lead. And you have to figure they'll lean on it a little bit more in the third and fourth quarters. And meanwhile, for the Steelers, we take a look there at the numbers for them running the football in that first half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. On the return is Spencer.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Broncos and Cortland Sutton heading back out there.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Following the penalty, here's Gordon. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On 2nd and 15 now. Bridgewater. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
It's a gain of 6. And it's 3rd down.
Well, the terrible towels here at Heinz Field out in full force. Here's 3rd and long.
On 3rd down, Bridgewater. And down he goes. The pressure getting to Bridgewater.
That's Cameron Hayward who got in there to take him down.
To me, the defense was a little gassed near the end of the first half, but they've come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Denver. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2.
And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 43. They turn to Harris to begin the drive. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger.
And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And here's a very low line drive, almost whiffed on it. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Bridgewater on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
So, Charles, we are 3 weeks now into the regular season, and we're left with 5 unbeaten teams. Raiders and Broncos in the AFC, over in the NFC, Panthers, Cards, and Rams, all at 3-0. Maybe not the 5 that we would have predicted when the season started, but of that group, who stands out to you?
Well, I'm going to say absolutely all of them. All right, sounds like I'm sitting on the fence, but I'm going to tell you why. Because quarterbacking, always what you're looking at when a team gets off to a hot start, and quarterbacking has been a key for every one of those teams. But I think there's been an addition to each and every one of them. With the Raiders, it's been Derek Carr playing at a high level, but how about how their defense is played? The Broncos, Teddy Bridgewater solidified that position. Their defense has been a constant as well. Von Miller back in his form. When you look at the Panthers, Sam Darnold, again.
And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. And down to the 11.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Here's Bridgewater, fighting to stay upright. But he can't get away forever, and down he goes. Cameron Sutton able to take him down. It's a loss of 3.
Can't give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Another try after the first down sack. Bridgewater. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Broncos will extend their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. He's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone. This guy's in the masterclass right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. McManus now for the extra point. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a Denver touchdown. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. McLeod now on the return. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger. Short little throw to Ebron. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a 1st down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Balaj. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
From the 45 on 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Draymond Jones. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards.
I think we've seen this before. If someone's down 3 scores, that situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger will throw. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway. Now, look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Now Roethlisberger to throw. He finds Kalen Balaj, his running back. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Ben to throw again. Complete. It's Johnson. And out of bounds right around the 20. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
But with the score where it is, you're not thinking field goals right now. You need touchdowns. So that was a much-needed conversion there on 3rd down.
From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on 1st down. This one into the hands of the running back, Balaj. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Roethlisberger. And his throw here's incomplete. They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. Now Roethlisberger. He's got Claypool for a Steeler touchdown. Chase Claypool there to make the grab. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. Precision, precision, precision. That's the definition of it right there. Great pass, great catch for the score.
Yeah, people talk about arm strength all the time. Well, if you're not precise and you're not accurate, the arm strength really doesn't matter. We saw a little bit of everything with that throw.
Boswell for the extra point. It's up and good, and it's now 28-14. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. On the return is Spencer. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
Here we go.
Getting set to go again here, Teddy Bridgewater coming back onto the field. He has been on his A game. We're in the 3rd quarter. He's already in search of touchdown pass number 5.
He's played so well that it's hard for me to take my eyes off of him, even when he's not on the field. I keep finding my eyes finding him on the bench in between series, wondering what he's going to do next. This has been a blast to watch him play the position.
He's been spectacular with those 4 touchdown passes. First down, Bridgewater. Flushed out right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
To throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he lost the football. And it looks like Steeler football. It is.
Well, you had an offense working with a comfortable 2-score lead here in the 3rd quarter, and certainly doesn't feel as comfortable now following the turnover.
Yeah, you're right about that, because now the nerves start to come into play a little bit. You're a little bit jangled. You don't want to give your opponents any avenues to get back into the game. What you'd rather do, put up signs that say, roads closed.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure.
Previous play is under review.
Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
We gon' shut.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that challenge, a successful one. So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down.
Bridgewater now after the fumble recovery. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Sutton. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Denver. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Now they had to go the length of the field last time out to get into the end zone. And with this starting field position, they're going to have to pretty much do it again.
And I think the thought process going into it is, hey, if you have to be methodical, go ahead and do that. But what you really want are a couple of big plays. Eat up chunks of yardage and cut down the number of times you have to snap the football.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. They'll start with a give here to Balaj. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Roethlisberger. And that's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Roethlisberger. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down. And they get 10 yards there and convert on 3rd. Now Balaj. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the 1st half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 2nd and 9, Roethlisberger. Here's Johnson with a reception. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
Let's face it, the focus is going to be, at the end of this play, on the big-time gain, right? He lined up on the left and worked his way all the way to the right before the perfect pass found him. But how about the offensive line and the protection to give him enough time to work his way all the way across the field?
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Roethlisberger. And he finds his target, Ebron. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. A gain of 32 that time.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try to run with Harris, and he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I would think down 2 scores at this point in the 4th quarter, even with the loss there on 1st down, this has got to be 4-down territory. If you're the field goal kicker, your only purpose now is if you can run out for a pass or actually carry the ball into the end zone. Otherwise, don't even look at the coach.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Now it's Roethlisberger. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, is intended target. But now it's 3rd and goal.
Watch the current.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Draymond Jones in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit.
I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational, CD. That is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
And Boswell's kick is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11.
So the 3 points there in CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, Brandon, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
On the return is Spencer. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
Getting set to go here, Teddy Bridgewater and company marches back onto the field. Really solid effort for him right now. Third quarter, already 4 touchdown passes. How many can he get here?
That remains to be seen, but I know one thing. You and I will be here to watch, and I'm not going anywhere. With what he's doing in this contest, I'm not missing a minute of it. This guy's been spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team game, but sometimes these individual performances are fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes they just kind of come to the front, despite the fact, as you said, we know it's all about the team, but the way he's playing, he's trying to make his team win on his back.
Yeah, it's been exciting. And down he goes. The pressure getting to Bridgewater. Cameron Hayward able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
And that's his second sack in this one.
And you just can't ask a defensive end or an edge rusher to play any better than what we're seeing right now. And, partner, it's still just the third quarter. I'm thinking he's not done yet. Even if he's not getting a sack, he's bringing a lot of pressure to the pocket.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Another tote for Gordon. He's been busy this afternoon. And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on third and very long.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll be out of bounds right around the 20. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be fourth down. A nice job of bringing that in, but why was he so close to the sideline there? They had all kinds of room in the flat.
A little bit of a lack of coordination between him and the quarterback, because both of them should have seen that room that was available, that space. Stop your route a little bit shorter, put it on him, and let him turn and get upfield.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Denver. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
The Steelers ready for their next possession. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Now Roethlisberger. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. Chase Claypool, the intended target, but it'll be second down. Here's Roethlisberger. Right back to Claypool, this time complete. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. He finds his man Johnson. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to move the sticks with a gain of 4 on 3rd and inches. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. And a 2-score game, obviously. Every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. That'll bring up second down.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Again, it's Roethlisberger. Over the middle, that's caught by Claypool. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. He's got a man open. It's Chase Claypool. And he will have a Steelers first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive continues.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. On first down, it's Roethlisberger. Short little throw to Ebron. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And his throw is incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Now it's Roethlisberger. And this is going to be incomplete. So 2 third-down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with 4th down.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Boswell's kick is good, and that'll make this an 8-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
from the successful field goal try. Here's Boswell to send it away. On the return is Spencer. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Set to take over, the Broncos offense trots back out. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. Takes this to the 27, give him 4 yards.
So 4th quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Bridgewater to throw it. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
And that's complete. Albert Okwuegbunam. And he will have the Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here, down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, 1-score game. 1st and 10 here.
Now a handoff. This is Gordon. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Bridgewater now. He's going to look deep for more.
And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Here's Sam Martin now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today.
The Steeler offense set to regain possession.
And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Now Roethlisberger on first down. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Roethlisberger to throw. They'll set up the screen to Balaj. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
So the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete.
That open man that time ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. The Steelers send out their punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And Denver getting set to take the field.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Play action now. Bridgewater. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down. Now a 20th carry, number 20 here for Melvin Gordon. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12.
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. To throw is Bridgewater. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Denver. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. Going to wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 11. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. This one into the hands of the running back, Balaj. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
In his 5th year in Pittsburgh, a good bounce back last year for Juju with 97 catches. He wants to continue to make grabs like that and get upfield.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. With a catch made by Johnson. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. On 2nd down now, it's Harris, a solid stiff arm. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 87 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Oh, that's a very good run there by Najee Harris, who can take it inside. He can get to the perimeter. He can do it all with his build and his speed. This is a guy coming out of Alabama who did everything for the Crimson Tide. That's why Pittsburgh took him in the 1st round. Last in the league in rushing as a team last year were the Steelers. They're expecting Harris to kickstart their running game.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Von Miller able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. Throwing on 2nd and long. Roethlisberger. Pass complete to Ebron. And he's got some space here. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Completion here to Claypool. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
We know play callers can be very creative in this game today, but sometimes when they've got receivers with speed like this, they don't need to design incredibly complex calls. Sometimes it's just get the ball in his hands and let him do his thing. In a sense, less can become more, and it was right there.
He's got Claypool for a Steeler touchdown. Chase Claypool, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Steelers have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. So a big play now as the Steelers will go for 2. Now Ben. And he's going to be sacked. They came after him. He couldn't get away. And this remains a 2-point game. And the failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
So down only 2 now, still a chance to finagle their way into field goal range if they can get this onside kick. And the Broncos are going to get the football. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
And coming out now, the Broncos. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. First down, Gordon. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Bridgewater. Over the middle, complete. It's Spencer. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They're going to run. This is Gordon. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. It's a gain of 3 there, and that should be just about all she wrote.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Down to a knee goes Bridgewater, and that ought to do it.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Error-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle. Go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.